Well, this is a trail. It ain't much of a trail, but it is one. It's kind of hard to negotiate, I guess, but if it takes time, you can do it. So, going up this hill, little old hill here. Actually, what it is, it's a dike along the river to hold water back. Well, means we've got flood control now. We don't need it, I guess. So anyway, here in the middle of the trail was this dead tree. And it was dead. And so I thought, well, best thing to do, the only thing I can do, is move it. So I got nothing against power tools, but if I'm out in the wilds or out in the, alone by myself, I come out for the peace and quiet. And there ain't nothing more annoying when you're trying to enjoy the peace and quiet and somebody's running a chainsaw or a weed eater or a lawnmower or something like that. So anyway, as you can see, there's the old 570 Polaris, and we made it to the river, and this is what we wanted to do. And I can bring the kayak down here and just kind of have a river to myself. That's one advantage of being retired. You've got the days or the weeks, and the only time you have to share anything is on weekends. And I guess ain't nothing wrong with that. There's the old Polaris, she's a good machine. You know, I got quite a few toys. Don't get me wrong, I by far I sure ain't no rich man. And I got quite a few toys. I got a couple of them I'm still making payments on, but let me tell you a little story about that. I started probably 10 years before I was going to retire. And I thought, what kind of toys am I going to need when I retire? Well, then I started buying them. And this one here, I retired in 2017. This one here is a 2015. I figured I could pay it off before I retired, but I didn't. So it's like, oh well, it's about paid off now, so it ain't no big deal. But it don't cost much, a little over $100 a month. It's worth it. So you just take your time, pick out what you want, go buy it while you're still working, where you can make payments on it. And then when you retire, you got your toys. My little XT was the same way. I bought it, did it that way. My truck, I did it the same way. And I'm still driving the same truck I have been driving, this old 3 Ford Ranger. I just love that thing. Stick shift, 5-speed. It's like me, it's kind of simple and laid back. It don't take much attention, so it's a good truck. Starting to show its age, but it'll last me. But you take your time and decide what you want. Buy your toys. And you know, I had a choice. I could either buy one big, huge, expensive toy, or I could buy 2 or 3 least or less expensive toys. And you know what? 3 is always better than 1. I don't care how you slice it. So we got XT and got the 570 and bought me a Kawasaki Versy for a street machine. And so now I got 3 toys I can play with. They ain't counting all the others I collected over the years, but it's you know. Now I'm sitting here alongside the river. And the amazing thing about that river, it's flowed like that for many, many years. And you know what? It'll never change. That water just got to go somewhere. It all goes downhill. And you know what? If people take time just to get out and look and see what's going on and quit worrying about what your neighbor's doing or what somebody else is doing or what the new fad is. Life would be a lot easier. I mean, there's nothing wrong with fads and all this kind of stuff. If that's what you're into, I'm sure not to say anything bad about that. But it's just like some people go their entire lives and all they do is chase their tails. That's my opinion. You know, there's people say, well, I'm chasing my tail too by being non-productive. Well, that might be so, but I'm doing what I want to do. And I guess that's the same way with your people that chase fads if that's what they want to do. It ain't none of mine. But anyway, that's the old river. She's down. Right now, if a person wanted to float, this would be the perfect time to float. If this thing's bank full, you better stay off because it is treacherous, it's mean, it's nasty, and it'll kill you. I've been on this river many times. A couple times almost didn't get off of it. That's neither here nor there, but you learn. Right now would be the perfect time because the water flow is pretty slow. It's not fast. It's probably not more than 2 miles an hour. And anything above 3 miles an hour, I'd stay off of it. And good way to judge that, normal person walks about 3 miles an hour. If you can walk and keep up with something that's floating in the river, it's too swift. If you can outwalk it, it ought to be pretty safe. That's just kind of a rule of thumb. Don't hold me to that. That's kind of the way I live by it. Yeah, think about it. A good spot for a tent. Bring the shelf down here and level the sand up a little bit. Set up tent, maybe throw out a fishing pole or two. Not really caring when I catch anything or not. But I need to bring the kayak down here and get out there and play around in the water a little bit. But anyway, that's so much for that. It's a beautiful day. It's hot, but listen to that. Birds. Birds chirping, that's all you hear. Isn't that great? It don't matter, just do it. You got to find your spot. And like I said, even if your thing is sitting in the middle of a crowded mall there, listening to the roar of the people talking, if that's what makes you happy and that's what relaxes you, then go do it. You know, people get old and they think, well, I can't do that anymore. Well, age, we all age. You know, like I said, I'm retired, but it's like I know my limits. I know what I can do, what I can't do. I was chopping on that tree out there and I used an axe, and everybody said, you know, that's pretty dumb, but yeah, maybe it is. But I did what I wanted to do. It's one of those things that, and it keeps, you know, helps you keep from. I'd rather do something like that and sit in the house there and die of pneumonia or something, die of boredom. Nah, you gotta get out. Gotta see the world. The world's out there, and it's vanishing. These speculators are chopping it up, eating it up, chewing it up, stripping the land of everything they can, and one of these days it's going to be gone. But you know what? One of these days Mother Nature is going to say, nah, it's going to have a last laugh. See what's happening in China, don't you? Yeah, Well, river's flooding over there, but anyway, enough of that. Just find your spot. Find your tranquil spot, sit back, relax, and watch the world go by. That's about all there is.